everyone to Monday night Vinyasa Yoga. Welcome to my living room with all of its associated sometimes distractions or background noises. So please be patient if there are noises that are unfamiliar. Hopefully we'll keep those to a minimum. So the series I have for us tonight is one that's designed to increase our acceptance. Certainly we're living in a time that requires a lot of acceptance from us, and so that seemed like a good theme for tonight's class. So I'm going to start tonight, and I invite you to also in Virasana. And if this pose is not available to you, you can of course just sit in your normal cross-legged seated position. If you have a block or a book available, you want to put that block or book right in between your ankles and sort of bring your ankles to touch that. Your heels are going to go right on the outside of your hips here, and your legs coming straight out of the hip sockets. Okay? And I'll turn sideways for just a minute so you can kind of see what this looks like from the side. So you see my heels are just to the outside of my hips, legs coming out nice and straight. You're welcome to sit down on the floor if you don't have a block, but it can be a lot more intense that way. So let's just bring ourselves to this supported Virasana pose. And we'll just let our hands relax on the thighs and begin to take some slow, deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. So we're just using this time to sort of arrive in our bodies, arrive on the mat, to come out of our daily life, to drop into this moment, out of the cloud of our concerns, and using the breath as a focal point, allowing the belly to expand and contract. Allowing the shoulders to relax away from the ears. Shoulders are stacked right over the hip bones here. Maybe we're really sensing that block or the floor underneath those sits bones. And we'll start tonight with a little breathing exercise. This is alternate nostril breathing. So I want you to bring your 3 fingers closed, bringing your hand to this sort of Y shape here. And we're going to take the thumb and block the right nostril. And then from here, we'll take a deep inhale through the left nostril. Then exhale through the left. Then block the left nostril with the pinky. And take an inhale and a full exhale through the other nostril before switching fingers. So switching fingers, inhaling and exhaling. Switching fingers, inhale and exhale. And imagine here as you're switching fingers and inhaling that you're taking the deepest inhale you've taken all day. And then as you're exhaling that you're pressing all the air out of the lungs by compressing the belly button back towards the spine. And as you're breathing in, you may just say to yourself, breathing in. And as you're exhaling, breathing out. And coming through one more breath cycle here with your own breathing. And we'll just allow the hand to come down to the lap and let the breath return to normal. And now interlacing the fingers. As we exhale, we'll press the fingers away from the body, palms facing out, and then inhaling to bring the arms up overhead. Nice big inhale here. And then exhale to let the fingers rain down. Big inhale. Exhale as we interlace the fingers, pressing away. Inhaling as we press the arms up overhead. Holding here for one inhale. And then exhaling the hands down. Inhaling. Exhaling to press the hands away. Inhaling the arms overhead. Waiting for the next inhale. And then exhaling the hands down. Last time here. Nice big inhale through the nose as we interlace the fingers. Exhaling to press the hands away. And then inhaling all the way to the top. Waiting for the next inhale. And then exhaling the hands down. And now bringing the hands back down to the lap. We're just going to turn the head to a 45-degree angle towards the left shoulder. And then tuck the chin in just a little bit here so we're gazing at the floor. And then bringing the left hand to the top of the head, just apply a little gentle traction here. Pulling down through the head. You get a little bit of a stretch in the side of the neck here and the top of the back. You can close your eyes. Imagining breathing into that side of the neck. The opposite elbow is heavy. And the shoulder sinking away from the ear. And then on an inhale, we'll gently allow that to release, bringing the head back to center, and then shifting the gaze 45 degrees in the other direction, tucking the chin here, and gently pulling forward, gentle traction on the neck here. And if you're feeling a stretch here, a sensation, that's what you're looking for, but we're not looking for any pain. So of course, if this doesn't work for you, just allow this to let go and bring your head back to center. And now on our next inhale, we'll let that release, bringing the head back to center, bringing the hands to heart center this time. Inhaling here and then exhaling as we tuck the chin, feeling that stretch down the back of the neck here. Thumbs are pressing into the sternum here. We can feel our hearts beating. And maybe bring to mind here something that you're working towards acceptance for, or some resistance that you're trying to let go. And perhaps something comes to you easily, or perhaps tonight you're not completely sure what that is, and that's okay too. Just allow yourself to hold the question gently. And now we'll inhale the head up, bringing the hands down to the sides, palms are facing the ceiling. And here we'll inhale the arms up overhead, really rooting down through those sits bones and reaching up through the fingertips, pinkies come to face each other. On our next exhale, we're going to allow that right hand to come down, cupping the right heel with the right hand. And then on our next exhale, reaching up and over out of the side body, coming into a little side bend here. Gaze is straight forward, or perhaps turning up slightly towards the elbow. And as we're exhaling, we'll let that arm come down. Inhaling both arms up overhead one more time. Rooting down through the sits bones. Exhaling as we bring the left hand to the left heel, cupping the heel with the hand. And then inhaling and exhaling up and over. And then exhale to let that hand come down. One more time, inhaling both arms up overhead. This time as we're exhaling, we'll twist towards one side. We're going to bring a hand to the opposite knee and the same hand to the same hip. And imagine here that you're turning towards the center, turning from the center of the chest. And the gaze can come gently over the shoulder. And then inhaling the arms overhead as we come back to center and dropping to the other side. Opposite hand comes to opposite knee, same hand to same hip. Elbow is moving back, center of the chest, coming into the twist. Inhale the hands back to center. Bring the hands together as you exhale the hands down to heart center. I'm going to shift forward just a little bit here. If you have a block, you'll want to move that out of the way. I'm going to bring the knees and ankles together here. So we're bringing the legs very close to each other and we're rolling those toes under. So from the side, we'll see. Rolling the toes under. And then from here, we're actually going to shift into a little bit of a balance here, a toe balance. So we're going to shift up on those toes. Toes are nice and wide, sealing those thighs together, and then bringing the body upright, pulling in through the belly button, trying to bring those shoulders over the hips, maybe finding a focal point. And taking a couple of nice deep breaths here. And then when you're ready, allow the hands to come back down to the mat. I'm going to let those feet walk out just slightly back to our hip width distance. And planting the fingertips on the mat here, we'll slowly and gently shift the hips up, coming into a bit of a forward fold here with the knees bent. And we're going to inhale as we bend the knees here, and then exhaling to extend, letting that crown of the head move down towards the floor. Inhaling to bend the knees, exhaling to extend. And even in that extended position, working to keep those shoulders moving onto the back. Continue here with your own breathing. And then we'll bring this to stillness in our extended position. If you do have a block you're working with tonight, you're welcome to put that under one hand, or you can just come to fingertips. Let's start with the left hand, hand on the block or fingertips on the floor. We're going to bend into that left knee and exhale as we rotate the right arm up towards the ceiling, extending through the right leg. And exhale to bring that right hand back down to the floor. So right fingers come to the block or to the floor. Right knee is soft. Exhaling as we open to the left, extending through the left knee. And exhale to bring that hand back down. Bending both knees here, we'll plant the hands above both knees and inhale up to stand with a flat back. You can inhale your hands up overhead, allowing your gaze to follow your fingers if that's comfortable for your neck, and then bringing the hands together, exhaling the hands to heart center. Come to Tadasana here in the middle of our mat. So finding that nice stable Tadasana, maybe lifting all the toes, placing the little toe down on the mat, then the big toe, and then allowing the middle toes to come down to the mat, feeling the crease of the toe where it touches the foot, engaging with the floor. Finding that little springiness in the knees. Imagine the feet pulling the mat apart and feel how that engages the muscles of the calves and the quads. Feeling the belly button move up and back, rolling the shoulders onto the back and allowing the arms to just relax. And from this nice stable base, we'll inhale our arms up overhead, letting those pinkies once again face each other. And then exhaling, we're bringing the hands to the top of the hip crease behind the back. And just allowing the hips to shift forward. Gaze may come to the ceiling slightly as we open through the chest, coming into a small back bend here. And inhale back up, allowing those hands to relax. I'll take this to a wide stance on the mat. So legs are coming out wide. Sorry, someone is walking down the street. Toes are all pointing forward. We're rolling into the outer edges of those feet, pulling up through the arches. Knees are bent just slightly. And from here, bringing our hands to the hip crease, we're going to lower forward just about halfway, bending the knees just slightly and bringing the hands over the bent knees. So we're moving through a standing cat-cow here. So we're going to rotate the tailbone up towards the ceiling as we relax the belly, and then rotate the tailbone under, pulling perhaps against the underside of the knees just slightly, allowing the back to round, belly buttons coming into the spine. And then moving through this with your own breath, rotating the tailbone up, belly is soft. Exhaling to pull back against the thighs, belly button pulls in. And let's do this 3 more times with your own breath. Finding your own way through this movement. And last time through our cat movement here. We'll bring this back to a neutral spine. And then from here, just allow ourselves to gently lower forward, completing the journey down to the floor, allowing the fingertips to find the floor or the shins or the block. Letting the neck relax. And then from here, we're reaching the right hand over towards the left shin. And as we're inhaling, we'll bring the left hand up towards the ceiling, coming into our wide leg forward fold twist. If you'd like to try a different variation today, you can reach that left hand around towards the right hip, coming into a bind. And now allowing that to unwind, bringing the left hand and the right hand back down to the floor. We'll switch to the other side, reaching the left hand over towards the right shin, inhaling the right arm up overhead. And then if you like to find that bind on the other side, bringing that right hand around to the left hip. Head is relaxed. A little bit of a bend in the knees. And then exhaling as we let that release back down towards the floor. Taking that little bend in the knees here, pulling the belly button in towards the spine. Hands come over the bent knees as we inhale up to stand with a flat back. You can take a moment here to heel toe your feet towards the center of the mat. If you do have a strap or a towel tonight that you'd like to use as a strap, you can bring that over the left shoulder. If you don't have a towel or a strap, that's completely fine too. I'll walk you through it both ways. So we're going to bring the feet back out wide here. We're going to turn that left toes forward, right toes come at an angle. So we're going to be moving into our warrior two pose here. Oh, I'm muted. Uh-oh. Getting feedback that I'm muted. So you can't hear me? Yep. Hold on. I don't know how that happened. Can you hear me now? Now I can't hear you. Okay, we're good. All right. So if you have a strap or a towel, you can put that over your left shoulder. Okay. We'll bring the feet out wide. We're going to turn the left toes out, right toes in slightly. So we're going to be coming into a warrior two here. So we're rotating those hips towards the front, long end of the mat. We're going to inhale the arms up halfway as we exhale and deepen into this warrior two. So bringing the weight to the outer edges of the feet. And then taking the gaze gently over the front fingers. Nice deep breaths here. And then we'll bring the gaze back to center. We're going to take the left arm and bring the left hand around behind, in between the shoulder blades. Lower body is not moving here. We're rotating that right arm up the back. And if you have your strap here, you can grasp your strap. If not, you can take a hold of your shirt here and just pull away on the shirt. So we're coming into a warrior two with these Gol Mukhasan arms, cow face arms. And on your next inhale, just gently unbind the arms, bringing the hands back to warrior two, taking that gaze over the front fingers, continuing to deepen into that front leg. We're going to bring the back hand back down to the leg in the back, And then inhale up through the front fingertips, peeling those fingertips back just slightly if you like. 3 deep breaths here on your own count. And then inhaling back to warrior two. We'll extend through that front leg. We're going to take our strap or towel if we have it and move it down to the floor. And here we'll shift into our triangle pose. So inhaling the arms back up halfway, we're going to shift those hips out to the right as far as we can, reaching out and taking up all the air, all the space as we come down into our triangle. Keeping some lightness in the lower hand here if you can, challenging those oblique muscles, finding some acceptance of wherever you are today in this pose. And then when you're ready, engaging everything, inhaling up to stand and allowing the hands to drop, feet rotate back to the center. And if you like to take a wide leg forward fold here, welcome to do that. And then bending the knees slightly. We'll come up to stand with a flat back. You may want to grab your towel or strap while you're down there. We'll bring that over the right shoulder this time. Turning out through the right foot, bringing that left foot to a little bit of an angle here. Inhaling the arms up halfway and exhaling as we come into warrior two on this side. Bringing the gaze gently over the front fingers. Keeping the weight in the razor outside edges of those feet. Pulling the belly button in, but allowing the pelvis to remain wherever it sits naturally. We're not trying to bring the tailbone under here, but allowing that gentle curve to remain in the back. Bringing the gaze back to center. This time we'll bring that right hand around in between the shoulder blades, rotating the left hand up, grabbing the strap or your shirt or your fingers. Continuing that motion of staying over the front leg. Slow, deep breaths. And on your next inhale, releasing that bind, coming back into your warrior two. Shoulders move down the back, dropping that back hand. Inhaling up through the front arm. Exhaling as you peel the fingers back. Inhaling back to warrior two. And then straightening through that front knee. Shifting your strap or belt down to the floor. Shifting the hips out to the left, really reaching for all that air coming down into our triangle on this side. And imagining here that maybe you're sandwiched in between two panes of glass. Trying to bring the top shoulder back of the head in line with the shoulder. And when you're ready, engaging everything, inhaling back up and allowing the arms to fall, toes to face forward, and you can heel toe, or jump yourself to the center of your mat, wiggling out the legs here. So I'd like to invite you here to the top of your mat. So coming to the top of the mat. Once again, finding your Tadasana. And we'll come through a couple of sun salutations here. So inhaling the arms up overhead, exhaling as we reverse swan dive coming into forward fold. We'll inhale up halfway and exhale as we extend and surrender over the legs. Then stepping back with the right foot, coming into a lunge on the left side, sinking the hips down. Planting the hands, stepping back to plank, pulling in through the belly button. And then if you're on your toes, rolling forward on the toes, hugging those elbows into the side body as you gently relax to the floor. Tops of the feet come to the floor as we inhale to baby cobra. Exhale to release. Toes roll back under, inhaling up through plank, exhaling to downward dog. Stepping forward with the right foot this time. Exhale into your lunge. Back foot comes to front. Exhale into your forward fold. Inhaling up to stand with a flat back. This time bringing the hands up overhead, interlacing the fingers for temple fingers, sandwiching the ears in between the arms, and exhaling into a gentle back bend here. Inhaling to come back up. Exhaling, hands come down through heart center and continue all the way back down. Forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhale to release. Stepping back with the left foot this time. Exhaling into your lunge. Planting the hands, stepping back to plank or half plank. Hugging the elbows into the body as you exhale into your chaturanga. Inhaling up to baby cobra. Exhale to release. Toes roll under, inhaling back through plank, and exhaling to downward dog. Taking a few breaths here in downward dog. From here, we're going to bring the big toes together. Big toes come to touch. Pulling in through the belly button here. We're going to sink down through the left heel and then the right heel. Just walking our dog just a little here. Couple more breaths. And then bringing that to stillness, we're going to allow that right foot to come up from the floor like we're sliding the bottom of the right foot up a wall. And then exhaling, we'll bring that right foot through, coming into our lunge on the right side. Dropping the left knee to the floor, we'll bring the top of the left foot to the floor. And then you can either come up by placing one hand on the knee and squaring the hips, or you can just go ahead and sweep the arms up overhead. Imagine straightening that back foot, pressing down through the top of the big toe. Inhale here, and exhale to bring the hands to heart center. We're going to take the left elbow to the top of the right thigh, coming into a twist here. And you're welcome to stay right here, or if you'd like to add a little bit more of a strength move here, you can come up on the back toe. So choosing where you'd like to be here. We're going to inhale back to center, allowing the fingertips to find the floor here. We're going to bring the back foot forward just slightly so that we can engage the left heel with the floor. Pulling in through the belly button here, we'll sweep the arms up overhead, coming into our warrior one. Inhaling as we spark up through those fingers. Exhaling as we open through the chest, bringing the elbows back, the little goddess arms. Flowing through this here, inhaling the arms up overhead. Exhaling to goddess. Inhaling the arms up overhead. And exhaling this time to bring the hands all the way down. We're going to straighten through that front leg here. And if you need to, you may need to change the angle of that back foot. So all 10 toes are pointing forward. We're peeling back through this right hip, coming forward through the left hip. We're going to grab the forearms or the elbows in the back. Chest is nice and open wide here. Inhaling, and then as we're exhaling, lowering over that front foot, bringing the gaze to the big toe, pressing the feet away from each other as we come into pyramid pose. Neck is a nice long extension of the spine. And I invite you to release the toes, pressing into all four corners of the feet. And then when you're ready, inhaling the arms up overhead, sweeping them back up, back into our warrior two. Inhaling here, and then as we're exhaling, allowing the arms to come down, bringing the back foot to meet the front. And we'll shake out through the legs here just a bit. And then bringing ourselves back into our Tadasana, inhaling the arms up overhead. We'll take a vinyasa down to the floor, exhaling back to forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhale to release. Here you can step or hop back to plank or downward dog. That wasn't very graceful. Coming back to downward facing dog. Let's come to plank here. Rolling forward on the toes. Exhaling to come down. Sweeping up into your up dog if your back is feeling ready for that. Toes roll under. Shifting back to downward dog. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then bringing those big toes together again. We'll inhale that left foot up like we're sliding it up the wall. And then exhaling to bring the left foot forward, coming into our lunge on the left side. Right knee comes down to the floor. And then when you're ready, bringing the upper body up. Pressing into the top of that big toe. Right big toe. And we're exhaling to bring the hands to heart center. Looping that right elbow over the left knee this time. Coming into our twist. Coming up on that back toe if you like. Or staying on the top of the foot. Inhaling to rotate back to center. Hands come down to the floor, shortening the stance in the back. And then when you're ready, sweeping the hands up overhead, coming into warrior one. Pulling back through the left hip, pressing forward through the right hip. Inhaling to spark those fingers up towards the ceiling. Exhaling to bring the elbows down. Inhaling, fingers come up. Knee is stacking right over the ankle. Exhale. One more time here. Inhaling, arms come up. Exhale, bringing the hands all the way down. Extending through the front foot. Bringing all 10 toes to face forward here. Grasping those forearms or elbows. And then when you're ready, exhaling the chest forward, coming into our triangle pose. Coming into our pyramid pose. And then when you're ready, bending into that front knee, sweeping the arms up overhead, coming back into our warrior one pose. Inhaling here and exhaling as we allow the arms to come down. Back foot comes to meet the front, and we'll shake out through the legs. Coming back to Tadasana. We'll take one more of your vinyasa here. Inhaling the arms up overhead. Exhale to come down to forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhale to release. Step or hop back to plank. From plank or half plank, coming into your chaturanga. And up to down, up dog. And back to downward facing dog. And then bringing the knees down to the mat. We're going to let those big toes touch. Knees come out wide and sink back into our child's pose. Inhaling to pull the belly button in towards the spine. We'll roll the toes under, shifting back to downward facing dog. Shifting the gaze forward here, we'll walk or hop the feet to the hands. And then inhale up to stand with a flat back. Moving into some balance poses here. You can stay at the top of your mat, or you can come to the center, wherever you like. So for this series of balance poses, we're going to move from tree to thigh stretch, and then back to a one-leg mountain, which will open out to the side. So we'll start by bringing the weight into the left foot, keeping that knee a little soft. We'll turn the right leg out. Or if you like here, you can also draw the right leg up into a one-leg mountain. And we'll move here into tree pose. So finding your tree. And find something to focus on here. Something that's not moving. And then moving slowly out of tree, we'll bring that leg back around to the front. And then see if we can gently shift it around behind, grasping the ankle or the top of the foot. Coming into our thigh stretch. Trying to bring those knees parallel. Bringing the right knee down towards the floor. And then allowing that to gently release, we'll bring that leg back around to center. See if you can pull the knee in towards the chest. And then see if you can open the leg out to the side. Bringing the leg back to center. And then allowing that right leg to find the floor, shaking out through the legs. And now finding the weight in the right foot. Turn that left foot out. And we'll come back into our tree pose here. Doing whatever you like with your arms. Bringing that leg back around to center. And coming behind for the thigh stretch. Remembering that we learn balance by being off balance. So if you're falling out of this pose, that's just fine. Just come back. Bringing the leg back around in front, hugging the knee into the chest, and then opening to the side. Bringing the knee back to center and lowering it to the floor gently with control, shaking out the legs. And then we'll bring ourselves down for our floor practice with one more vinyasa here. So finding our way down to the floor, coming back to the top of the mat, inhaling the arms up overhead, exhale to forward fold. Step or hop back to plank. And then coming through your vinyasa, your chaturanga, up dog. And once you've reached your downward dog, just let your knees find the floor. Switch those legs over to one side and come back to our Dandasana. So extending the feet out long, toes are pulling back towards the face, palms or fingertips are pushing down into the floor next to the hips, shoulders are on the back. Really engaging the thighs and calves here. You may feel a little shake in the legs. And then allowing that to relax and release. We're going to shift ourselves around so that we're seated towards the long side of the mat, coming into our wide leg seated pose here. If it's difficult for you to sit up tall in this pose, you can always sit on the edge of a blanket. Pulling the flesh out from underneath the sits bones can be helpful. If your knees are slightly bent, that's fine too. Just see if you can bring the shoulders over the hips here. Toes are pulling back towards the face. And then from this position, allowing the hands to walk forward just slightly, maybe a very small movement, moving the center of the chest forward. And then inhaling to release. I'm going to take the right hand and place it palm up on the inside of the right leg. Inhaling the left arm up overhead. We're going to reach over towards the right, allowing that right arm to slide along the inside of the right leg. Breathing deeply into the side body here. Inhaling to come back up from this position. Taking that left hand along the inside of the left leg. Inhaling the right arm up and exhaling as we come over to the left side. And imagine peeling back through that right shoulder, opening the chest up towards the ceiling. It's maybe more of an intention than a movement, depending on your flexibility, and that's fine. And inhaling to come up. I'm going to use the hands to help us bring our legs around in front, coming back briefly through Dandasana here. We're going to take the right leg and hug it into the body here, and then allow that right leg to rotate out towards the side as the right sole of the foot comes to the inside of the left thigh. If you have your strap or towel here, you can loop that around the toes. If not, that's fine too. We're going to imagine here that we're sort of turning the belly button towards the knee, the extended knee. And here we'll just allow the chest to sink forward over the leg, allowing the neck to just remain soft. And inhale to release. We'll drop that strap. Bring that leg back up, the right leg hugging the right leg in towards the chest. And if you like to step that right leg over here, you can or not. It's up to you. But we're going to allow that left arm to come and hug around that right leg as we sweep the right fingers around behind, coming into a twist. Left toes are still pulling back towards the face. Inhaling back to center, we'll rock that right leg like a baby. And then allow the right leg to extend back out long next to the left leg. Pulling the left knee into the chest. And then allowing that left leg to rotate out to the side, sole of the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Belly button turns towards the right knee. And if you have your strap, you can place that around the ball of your foot. Otherwise, you can inhale the arms up and then exhale long over that right leg. And remember, you can always make these dynamic by inhaling slightly to release and exhaling to deepen into the stretch. Keeping the shoulders moving towards each other, almost like you might like to hug a pencil in between your shoulder blades. And then allowing this to release. Bringing the left knee back into the chest. Crossing it over the right leg if you like. And then wrapping the right arm around the left leg. Left hand swims around behind as we exhale into the twist. Inhale back to center. Rock that left leg like a baby. And allow that leg to come back down to the floor. We're going to swing around onto the back here, bringing the knees into the chest. So allow yourself to just roll out gently through the lower back here. Find something that feels good. Maybe you'd like to separate the legs, pulling the knees back towards the ears. Maybe you like some movement in this pose. And then we're going to allow both feet to find the floor. We're going to bring the heels as close to the behind as we possibly can. Hands are resting next to the hips here as we shift into Setu Bandha, or our bridge pose. So taking a moment here, first a full, complete inhale and deep exhale. And then on the next inhale, shifting the hips up towards the ceiling. Knees are moving towards each other. Chin is pointing up towards the ceiling. And then exhale to release. Full inhale and exhale here again. And then inhaling to shift the hips up from the floor, this time walking the shoulder blades up underneath the back, grasping the hands if you like. And then when you're ready, allowing the fingers to release, shoulders move out from under the back, and we'll roll down slowly, one vertebra at a time. And then bringing the knees back to the chest. We'll allow the knees to separate as we reach through, grabbing the big toes or the outsides of the feet, coming into happy baby. If you like. And then bring this to stillness, allowing the shoulders and the neck to relax, pulling the knees down towards the floor. And then bringing the soles of the feet together and allowing the hands to help the legs extend out long along the floor. Finding our way into Shavasana. Feeling your belly expand and contract. And allowing yourself to sink fully into the floor. Riding the waves of the chant Sat Nam. True name. Allowing yourself to be fully present in this moment. Allowing your body to relax just that much more. Bringing some movement back into your fingers and toes. Inhaling your arms up overhead, stretching out through your fingers and toes. Rolling to one side, allowing your head to be cradled on your arm. And then when you're ready, gently pressing yourself back up to a seated position, with your eyes closed or your gaze lowered. And then ending tonight's class with just a short quote. Accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. Thank you for joining me for this class tonight. May your yoga follow you off the mat.